Spider Pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider Pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider Pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider Pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web?
So now we know that Beerus is actively looking for someone to replace him as a god of destruction for Universe 7. He is looking to retire, and we have theorized together that the reason this is the case is because there is someone that has now surpassed him in strength, and when a god of destruction has a mortal that passes him in strength, he must relinquish his title and give it to somebody stronger, similar to Belmont, who has named his successor in Topo and has given up his title of god of destruction because Jiren is in his universe. But what happens after a god of destruction retires? Where do they go? What do they do? And are they still essentially the same? This is something that everyone's been talking about and asking since the ending of the superhero arc, since Beerus has been looking for someone to replace him. And in today's video, I have your answer. After much digging, much investigation, and a lot of studying and going through the material, I finally have the information needed to explain what is going to happen to Beerus after he retires, and where is he gonna go, what's he gonna do. So if you already think you know the answer before you watch the video, let me know in the comment section below what happens to a god of destruction or a deity after they retire. Let me know in the comment section below and see if you got it right. Watch the entire video, see if you got it correct, because I'm telling you right now, more than likely you have not thought this through the way you think you have, and I have the answer for you here today, because it's someone that's kind of in our face that explains this situation perfectly. Before I begin, huge shout out to the Black Squad, everybody who's been here since day one, who comments on every single video and likes the video. You guys are number one. Thank you so much. We will 100% reach the 500k mortal plan together. Let's begin. So before we know exactly where a god of destruction is going to end up after they retire, we need to know where they came from, what they did before, and what their story was before they became a god of destruction. And not surprising, Beerus is one of the main characters of Dragon Ball Super, but we don't know anything about him. And the things that we do know about him literally are just more questions, because we know he is the only god of destruction that has a brother that is another god of destruction. So we have two relatives here, and we don't know where they came from. We don't know what they did before, but we have some ideas as to what their planets could look like. So this is Beerus's planet, the planet that he gets as a god of destruction. It is just an upside down triangle with a tree on top. That's basically all it is. And at first glance, there really isn't much we can learn from his original planet just based on this planet. But when I look at this planet, I see remnants of what his original planet would look like, and I believe that gods of destructions either get to choose what their god of destruction planet looks like, or their god of destruction planet looks very similar to their home planet. look at Belmont's planet. Belmont's planet is essentially just a circus. That's all it is. It is a circus. It's got circus tents, and it really fits his aesthetic. And you'll find that with all the Gods of Destruction planets, they're very similar to what the aesthetic is for their God of Destruction. But for me to drive home the point of this planet being what Beerus's home planet essentially looks like, we need to see what Champa's planet looks like. And honestly, we don't really get much of Champa's planet in either the manga or the anime. We get this scene where he gives Kale and Caulifla the Potara earrings, and we get this very dark planet. At least outside it looks like it's dark, and it has huge open window architecture. That's essentially the best I can describe it. And looking at this planet, it looks very different than the planet that Beerus is on. But these guys are brothers. They come from the same planet. How could this be the case? Well, I think that we're just looking at it with missing information, because this right here is what Beerus's planet looks like at night in the anime. And at night, the color scheme and everything looks very similar to what Champa's planet actually looks like. And I'll take it even a step further, something you guys have never seen. Look at this. This is the concept art for Beerus's original planet, which looks really cool, honestly. It looks pretty straight, but if you look at this planet, it is essentially a jungle similar to what Beerus's planet eventually becomes, but it is surrounded by darkness similar to Champa's planet. And look at the tower. The tower has huge open windows similar to Champa's planet. So in my opinion, I think that they took this design and split it between both planets. But since we don't get to see much of Champa's planet, we really just get to see more day than night on Beerus's planet, and that's why it doesn't look very similar. So we have now a taste of what the Gods of Destruction planets look like, but it is unclear which universe Champa and Beerus come from. They have to come from one universe, and it's either Universe 7 or Universe 6. Either of those two, it wouldn't make sense for them to be from any other universe. So now that we have the home planets, we have to get a taste of what life they could have had beforehand and how a God of Destruction deals with their past. And weirdly enough, the only God of Destruction whose past we know of is Belmod. Toyotaro gave us this sketch showing Belmod quitting the Pride Troopers. Belmod left the Pride Troopers because he did not like Gichin's ideas about teamwork, and in all honesty, it looks like in the picture, this is more than likely Gichin. Gichin is the guy who sacrificed himself for Jiren's master. He sacrificed himself and got killed by a demon. That's how the manga shows it. And being killed by a demon means that Margarita could not revive him, so he had to remain passed away, which is part of why Jiren joins the Tournament of Power, because he wants to get the Super Dragon Balls to revive Gichin, because he feels like he is responsible for Gichin's death because Gichin sacrificed his life to save him when he was a kid. And so Belmod left the Pride Troopers and became the God of Destruction because he was the strongest at the time. And once he became a God of Destruction, he was met with the death of Gichin to the hands of the demon. Once that happened, he took the Pride Troopers underneath his wing and basically created the most fearsome fighting force in Universe 11. And he talks about it during the Tournament of Power. He says, by fighting together, you're able to draw out even more power than you were ever able to alone. As much as I hate to admit it, it's exactly as Gichin said. It can't be helped. I'll tell you the reason he never acknowledged Jiren. Gichin was the one that put the lone warrior Jiren into the Pride Troopers, and do you know why that was? Wasn't it so he could develop his strength? No. That's not what Gichin was trying to teach him. Then what was he trying to teach? Teamwork. Jiren used that incredible strength and the sense of justice imparted to him by his master to maintain law and order in our universe, but he has a tendency to take on the burden alone. To put it in a less charitable way, he doesn't trust anyone but himself. Still, he'll never know when things will go bad and he'll have to rely on others. I never expected to hear that from you, Belmod. Don't be ridiculous, I'm just parroting Gichin. As a god of destruction, I would never subscribe to such weak thinking. And yet, you two were friends. A long time ago, maybe. Looks like Jiren never learned that particular lesson. Apparently, Gichin wanted him to figure it out on his own, that idiot leaving things undone and then kicking the bucket. And those killed by demons can be revived by our power, of course. Yep, I still have faith though, that Jiren can handle this alone. So that was a lot to take in, because Belmont is essentially saying what Jiren's philosophy is, and Gichin tried to persuade him otherwise and try to teach him otherwise. And yet Belmont and Jiren are almost the exact same. They're lone warriors. They do not like to fight with teamwork. They don't like to do things together with other people. They like to achieve victory all on their own and rely only on their own strength. But even though Belmont believed this, he fostered the teamwork in the paratroopers so that they would be a singular fighting force. But he still had so much hope in Jiren's strength. That's why he only cared if Jiren stayed on the field, because then he knew that they would win. What does all this have to do with Beerus? Well, Belmont is really the only god of destruction that we have information about his past, his connection with the mortals that he had, his camaraderie with them. He was part of the team of the paratroopers. Now he essentially sponsors them, and he is very close to Jiren. So we know so much about Belmont's backstory, and Belmont is retiring, giving the spot up to Topo. It is not impossible to believe that after thousands of years of sponsoring the paratroopers, that Belmont would take his rightful spot as leader of the paratroopers, essentially switching spots with Topo, who will become the next god of destruction, because now Belmont has understood the benefit of teamwork. Like, Belmont doesn't come out and say that he's up for teamwork, but he shows every aspect of being a team player. Even this tender moment between him and Jiren that we don't see in the anime, where he says, "You blame yourself for Gichin's death, right? Well, cut it out. Your master wouldn't want to be revived, and you know it." And then he accepts his fate to be erased alongside his team. He is a team player. He's trying to lift Jiren's spirits. At the exact same time, he is ready to go out with the rest of them. He's not begging for his life. He's not doing any of that. He's 100% a team coach. So again, it is not far-fetched to believe that Belmont would absolutely go and be the leader of the paratroopers as soon as he is retired. What does that mean for him? How strong is he? Does he revert back to how he was? What does retirement look like if he is the leader of the paratroopers? Well, guys, you've been waiting for the answer, and the answer is extremely obvious, and it's something that happens in Dragon Ball Z and in the Moro arc. So let's start with DBZ. So in Dragon Ball Z, the Elder Kai tells us this: a long time ago, there was a terrible bad guy, almost as terrible as Boo, and he sealed me away in that sword. He was scared of me, that's why. But this was retconned slightly by this.
The truth is that he's the one who trapped me inside the Z-Sword. He surprised me. It happened in the blink of an eye.
That's right. The Elder Kai was sealed inside the Z-Sword by Beerus himself. Why did Beerus do it? Akira Toriyama himself had previously made this reveal during a 2014 interview and added further context to Old Kai's account, explaining the true reason behind Beerus' actions. Toriyama noted that all of the Supreme Kais and Gods of Destruction would hold strategy meetings every millennium, and during one such gathering, Beerus and the Old Kai fell out over some trifling situation, since destroying the sacred world of the Kai would have been frowned upon. The hot-tempered Lord Beerus retaliated by trapping the then Supreme Kai in the legendary sword. He traps the Supreme Kai in the sword. Remember, this was his Supreme Kai, and then he gets a new one, which is Shin, the one that we see in DBZ and DBS, ultimately leading to the Elder Kai being released from the Sea Sword in Dragon Ball Z. So the Elder Kai is really the first retired deity that we see in Dragon Ball, at least in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. He's retired because he was sealed in the sword. He was sealed in the sword, he was trapped, and then basically they just got a new one. They got somebody else to fill in that job and took away the title from the Elder Kai. When the Elder Kai was released, he didn't have that title anymore. He doesn't have that connection to Beerus. If the Elder Kai dies, which he did in Dragon Ball Z, Beerus doesn't die. That's how you know they don't have that connection anymore. But yet he's still referred to as the Elder Kai. So he kind of just still keeps that moniker. He still keeps the name, but he doesn't have the actual official title of Kai, of Supreme Kai. And I know what you're thinking about his powers and his strength, because the Supreme Kai did get accidentally fused with a evil witch, and a lot of his magical powers, including the power of releasing that inner ability, comes from the magic, comes from his magic. What he did to Gohan, that comes from the witch side. So I know you're thinking, well, how strong is he? Because he seems to really be weak, and he only had that power of the witch after he was released from the Z-Sword. Well, there is another Kai that still has retained his abilities, even though they're not actually with him, and that is the original Grand Kai. Not only is still dormant inside Majin Buu, but his deity powers, the powers that only high-level deities have, they are in Oob, so he still retained everything after being absorbed by Buu, even though he was not the official Grand Supreme Kai anymore. So what does that mean for Beerus? Since we vaguely now know the planet, we vaguely now know that Beerus would more than likely return to what he had been doing beforehand, similar to Belmont. We now know that wherever he goes back to, he will still have God of Destruction abilities and learned abilities that he has. He does not have the God of Destruction name, and I would say that more than likely his God of Destruction powers are not as powerful as they would be with the title, but I would imagine that they're around that ultra ego level. I would imagine that they are at least more powerful than most other beings in the universe. So guys, that's all the information I have on Gods of Destruction's past and just what would happen after Beerus retires, because there really isn't an official explanation, and I don't know if we're going to be getting one. So this is as close to a speculation slash theory that I can come up with what the actual outcome of that retirement would be. But let me know if you guys thought of anything that I thought of. And if you guys got it right, let me know. But that's going to be it, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.
When Goku trolled Vegeta, my Bulma moment. In the DBS anime, Vegeta rejects the Super Saiyan God ceremony, saying he'll surpass Goku with his own efforts, and so Goku answers he is completely right, since he got a crazy power-up when Bulma was hit by Beerus.
What did you do to my Bulma?
Vegeta could only stutter when Goku came up with the "What did you do to my Bulma?" In Battle of Gods, the reaction is even funnier. Vegeta gets totally embarrassed and starts blushing when Goku imitates his "My Bulma" rage.
Oh, speaking of power-ups, when Bulma got hit, you sure went crazy, huh? My Bulma! That was funny.
He even jokes that in the next fight, they should let Bulma get slapped so that Vegeta goes all crazy again. But in the end, the one that gets the slap is Goku.
I guess the next time we're fighting someone that strong, we'll just have to get him to slap Bulma, and then we'll be all good, right?
That's really funny!
Which parent are you? In the bustling city of Nutriville, a group of extraordinary individuals has emerged, known far and wide as the Superfood Parents. They are on a mission to transform their families' lives through the power of nutrition, one delicious bite at a time. Meet Chef Laquita Marie, the culinary mastermind behind the Superfood Parents playbook. With boundless enthusiasm, she welcomes you to embark on a thrilling journey to becoming a true superfood hero. But what exactly does that mean? In Nutriville, Superfood Parents are everyday heroes. These Superfood Parents lead the charge for better health, but not with capes. They lead with carrots, and whole food fats like avocados. And instead of masks, they lead with mangoes and berries. Fruits and vegetables are the disease-destroying arsenal of heroes. Are you a disease-destroyer superhero for your loved ones? Fruits and veggies fuel the mission of heroes like Veggie Vixen. Are you a Veggie Vixen for your loved ones? dedicated to ensuring their loved ones thrive on a diet rich in faves, fruits and vegetables. Here's your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to guide your family to superhero status by reaching the highest levels of health and wellness daily. Become a plant-powered titan, a superfood avenger, or even a faves crusader by earning 5 points for every fruit or vegetable eaten. It's a fun-filled quest where nutrition meets excitement. All of the digital details are at superfoodparents.com for the full experience. Superfood Parents has also created workbooks, where you'll discover the tools you need for success. These workbooks give you the heroic strategies to craft your grocery list like a seasoned hero. Which means you now have a playbook to even track your weekly meals like a true champion. And engage in mind-bending nutritional education with word searches that will keep your family entertained and informed. So, are you ready to join the ranks of the Superfood Parents? Are you prepared to unleash the power of faves and make every meal a heroic endeavor? If so, flip the page of the Superfood Playbook and let's begin your journey to becoming the ultimate superfood hero.
To become a sponsor, just visit superfoodparents.com.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the dominoes. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now this was certainly something that I did not expect would happen, especially after seeing the lengths that Goku Black was shown going to in order to ensure that our heroes are destroyed. But now, with Universe 10's alternate Kaioshin aiding our heroes in doing what they can to stop Goku Black, I can't help but wonder if they will actually be able to pull it off with succession and win, or if they're simply walking into a trap and having to fail against Goku Black, despite sending his Dark Army back to where they rightfully belong.
Our story now continues following the initial events of our heroes being shown having to wage war in going up against Goku Black's Dark Warriors, as with Orange Piccolo shown having to clash with none other than Super Saiyan Rose Trunks Black upon also finding out that Zamasu had turned against Goku Black, was when Vegeta then went on to chime in. So you're seriously meaning to tell me that this version of Zamasu actually wants to go and help us stop Goku Black? And why are we to believe him when they are both one and the same? And so what's in it for him? With Zamasu responding, so listen, you may choose to believe whatever it is that you wish to want to believe, but stopping Goku Black's dark forces from further causing more chaos is what we should be by far more focused on than anything else at the moment. Right, but what exactly is in it for you, Kaioshin Vegeta questions? For we have absolutely no reason to go and trust anything that comes out of your mouth, and so unless you tell us on why you're doing this, then you can count me out. With Zamasu responding, seriously? Are you listening to yourself right now, mortal? For you must realize the gravity of our situation, because by eliminating Goku Black's henchmen before engaging against Goku Black head-on would not only leave Black helpless Trunks and without aid, but this would also give us the chance to therefore attack him all at once and stop him before things go from bad to so much worse if we don't. And so this is why we must target the others, Zamasu continues. And while I don't think that fighting Goku Black alone will be as easy as any of you might assume for it to be, it's better for us to ensure that Goku Black doesn't have the means to fall back on anyone like how he did with my counterparts, which is why the others must be sent away so that way we can go and handle him alone. And so we must hurry, for we are also running out of time. And so if you choose not to believe me, then that is your problem and not mine, Zamasu continues. But either way, I will do what I must and carry this out the best and only way that I know how. And if you truly wish to help me, then you will go and do exactly as we just did and create a momentary distraction for me to go and find and open the respective realm which they each belong in, so that way you can go and attack them on my signal and send these monsters back to where they belong once and for all. And so listen closely. While we have the means to go and attack, I want you both to shift your attention on over and focus on the one who calls himself Trunks. As all the while in the meantime elsewhere on the battlefield, with full-powered Super Saiyan Broly being shown having to attack in unleashing a barrage of ferocious strikes upon Super Saiyan 3 Rose Goku Black, was when Goku Black then went on to chime in. I'll admit, your raw power is exactly how I imagined that it would be, especially since you aren't shown fully being able to control it. For if I didn't train to get to where I currently am here against you, Black adds, then I more than likely would have died by your dirty Saiyan hands, but at least now I am able to gauge myself and see exactly where it is that I stand when compared to you, and I must say, I'm quite impressed, surprised by how powerful I've become while you mortals remain the same. And while your raw power and mine appear to be evenly matched, or at least for the time being, Black went on to then uppercut Broly in the face by responding, I can assure you now that you will not outlast me in this fight, because there are still many things that I have yet to show you that I have hidden up my sleeve and waiting for all of you to see. One of which being a power that goes far beyond your own, Black went on to then continue upon being shown blocking off Broly's attack. And in case you think that you have me all figured out, then you are in for a rude awakening. But even then, while this was shown having to happen, when then venturing back on over to Orange Piccolo and Super Saiyan Rose Trunks Black, with Trunks being shown clinching onto his face, was when Trunks then went on to respond with, why you? This can't be true. How are you so powerful in this timeline, whereas in mine you were already destroyed before the fight had even started between us? And so how could this be? You aren't the real Piccolo. You just can't be. Because the real Piccolo was never this powerful. With Piccolo then responding, well, you can go and forget about everything that it is that you think you know about me, because right now you went and made the biggest mistake of your miserable life by choosing to come into this timeline by stealing the body and the power of another one of our own. And I promise that you will pay dearly for the crimes that you have committed, Zamasu, stolen army of Saiyans or not. But even then, Trunks Black was not having it, because despite with Trunks Black then being shown dashing right towards Piccolo, was when Trunks Black then went on to respond, you of all mortals should know your place and understand that you could never, no matter how badly you tried, ever come close in surpassing my power. But then, it was only just then from out of nowhere, before Trunks Black even saw it coming, was when Ultra Ego Vegeta had then gone as far as to dash on him, by from that point then being shown having to uppercut Trunks Black in the stomach by then responding, oh, I'm sorry, but did I just happen to hear you say something about having the Namekian surpass your power, Kaioshin? And in what world do you think that this so-called power you wield belongs to the likes of you? Because I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't, for this power belongs to my son that you've destroyed, coward. For my son could never reduce himself into becoming as weak and as pathetic as you. So go and do as you just said and know your place among the strongest to ever exist. For you're not one of them and you will never be one of them, coward. To which it it was only then now from out of nowhere with Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku then shown having to swoop on in kicking Super Saiyan Rose Future Trunks Black in the face and having to knock him away was when Goku then went on to respond, "Sorry about that, Vegeta, but if we are to do this, then we gotta hurry and take every chance that we can to send these monsters back to where they belong. And so now hurry, Piccolo, now's your chance to blast this bastard with everything that you have, and so you have to hurry and fire that thing right now," with Piccolo then shouting, "Right, and so now let this be a painful reminder of why you will never be anything like the real future Trunks. And so this one is for him, you monster, light grenade attack!" To which seconds later, with Orange Piccolo's light grenade attack being shown having to slam right into Future Trunks as Zamasu had stood behind him, was when Future Zamasu then went on to chime back in, "Yes, there we are, and now that I have him within my sights, it's time that I go and send you to where you rightfully belong and be through with you and your kind from this battlefield once and for all." And to think that this was going to be what I would become, Zamasu adds, "For I could never allow for this to stand, especially not with everything that I've seen and experienced with Goku Black. For this nightmare has to end, and it's time that you go back to where you came from and remain where you belong without being brought back." Zamasu went on to use his time ring. "All right, and down goes the second one. Good work, Zamasu, we got him," Goku then went on to quickly shout. "Oh, I can't believe that I'm hearing those words leave your mouth, Kakarot. Wait a second, did I just hear you right?" Orange Piccolo surprisingly then went on to question. "You were in on this the whole time? So that Zamasu there is on our side? But how could you be so sure that we could even trust him?" Piccolo went on to then further question. "Because why in the world would he have any reason to go and help us for?" Piccolo further questions. "Surely you don't think that he's actually being serious here, are you, Goku? Or are you absolutely sure that we can count on him?" "Look," Goku says, "I know that it may look bad because I was also skeptical about his entire plan myself, but, well, so far he's shown us that he really isn't on Goku Black's side, nor does he even want to be, and so therefore we have to trust him," Goku continues. "There's no telling on what he knows about Goku Black that we don't, and so we'll have to put our faith in him unless something were to change later on," with Piccolo having to respond, "But it's just working alongside Zamasu was, well, not something that I would have seen in the cards here today, but oh well, I trust your judgment, Goku," with Zamasu then having to chime back in. "Come now, look, over there, as there is only one that remains before singling out the main and strongest target of the bunch, and so that one there is all that remains, and so we have to act fast while that savage Saiyan you call Broly has Goku Black's attention. So if we are to act upon something, then we must do it now," with Goku responding, "Right, it's that Gohan Black over there, isn't it? Well, it looks like since Gohan doesn't appear as though he needs our help," Goku adds, "this is what we're going to do, and so I need you to listen, Zamasu," with Zamasu quickly responding, "I already know about what you're thinking, son Goku, and so I'll wait on your signal before I move in and strike, but what's your plan?" To which back on over in the meantime, when then venturing back over to Super Saiyan Rose Ultimate Gohan Black having to battle against Beast Gohan, with Beast Gohan now being shown in complete control, the entirety of this battle involving both Gohans had seemed to have been a very personal one, as Beast Gohan then went on to respond, "You heartless, no good, rotten pile of trash! You think you could just steal my body and already expect to know how to wield my power better than I could?" Beast Gohan questions. "No, for you could never, and to think that you would go as far as to use my own body and go and hurt my family is something that goes far below simply hitting rock bottom, Zamasu, as I'll make sure that you go and pay for the nightmares you've caused within your own world, coward. And what makes you believe that you and your tribe of apes could ever measure up to the power of a god?" Gohan Black responds. "How could you be so sure of yourself when our battle isn't quite over, Saiyan? For I can go and tell you now that on King Zamasu's honor, you will never beat us no matter how many of you there are, and so why don't you just give up already and die?" "Funny," Gohan responds, Gohan, so now there's a so-called King Zamasu among your gang of body-snatching losers too? Well, I'm sure of myself quite a bit actually, because the very same god power that you keep on bragging about is the very same source of power that comes from deep within us. You know, the mortals that you really hate, isn't that right? And so that means that as long as we possess the will to carry on, Gohan adds, then you and your goons will never be able to beat us, Zamasu. But it's very ironic because for someone who continues to brag about their stolen god power, Gohan adds, you sure do seem to be losing against me now, aren't you? And do you want to know why that is? Well, it's simple, Zamasu, because unlike you, we didn't have to go and steal someone else's body and power in order to go and prove a point, Kaioshin. And so now just look at you. This is the example that you continue to set for yourself. Fragile body, fragile ego, weak mind, weak spirit. That is who you are, and that is all that you will ever be. You're such a fool, Gohan. Do you truly believe that even if you win, that it signifies some kind of an end? Because that couldn't be further from the truth, Gohan Black then went on to add. For you may stand victorious now, but the chessboard is vast and you have barely beaten the pawns, mortal. And of all the timelines which you stand stronger than me now, there awaits another that will devour you and that very light that burns within your very spirit's whole. For Zamasu is eternal, Saiyan. And so don't assume that you've won just because you've thrown us to the wayside, with Beast Gohan responding, and do you think that's honestly supposed to scare me or something, Zamasu? Because you can stop wasting your breath, for you only have but a few moments away from being destroyed, and since your fate with me has already been sealed, go and put your hands up and die with some honor, you scum. You think I'm trying to scare you, Saiyan? No, for I'm just telling you the truth of the matter, Black went on to then continue, because as much as you want to assume that this is over, this, my friend, is far from over. Not by a long shot, and not until King Zamasu is done having his way. And so I just want you to know that just as much as you hate to hear it, but since we were able to evolve your primal powers far beyond what you could have ever have hoped to possibly achieve, for if we were able to do that back then through evolving Goku and Vegeta's god transformations, then just imagine as to what I could do with this beast level of yours if I were to go on and achieve it too. Either way, you are without a chance, Gohan, you hear me? You, Saiyan scum, are without a chance in the world of stopping us. But it was only just when Gohan Black had attempted to strike Beast Gohan, with Beast Gohan quickly having to be shown teleporting out of the way, was when Gohan then went on to respond, oh, is that so? Well, do you still believe that we're the ones that are without a chance of destroying you here, Black? Or is it the fact that you are the ones who are drowning in the deep end, Zamasu? How dare you go and use my body along with my power to hurt innocent people, you disgusting excuse for life? How dare you go and hurt the people that I care about by using my face as a mask to cover up your failures, Kaioshin? No more, for I'm going to shred you for what you've done, Beast Gohan responds upon being shown elbowing Black in the spine, which only then within that moment, surprisingly enough, with Zamasu yet again being shown having to use his time ring in creating a portal and sending Gohan back to where he came, was when Zamasu then went on to respond, and now to rid you of your duties and send you back to the timeline where you belong, for you will not use my name to enact your false sense of justice. And so good riddance to you, along with your hypocritical vision of a new utopia, back from where you came, vermin. Wait a second, is he on our side? Beast Gohan questions, with Orange Piccolo having to then chime in. Trust me and Vegeta are just as taken back as you are by this, but more on that a little later, because we have bigger fish to fry at the moment, and so we gotta stay focused here, kid. To which, lo and behold, with all of Goku Black's Dark Warriors then sent back to their own respective timelines, was when Zamasu then went on to add, I can only hope that this ring works and that they are all sealed within their realms, never to return again. But now is not the time to ponder, because as long as that monster remains intact and mobile without pushback against him, then he is the greatest threat which endangers us all unless he is dealt with here and now. He, the one who claims to be many, is all that remains, to which as Broly's battle with Goku Black in the distance was now beginning to intensify was when Zamasu then went on to continue, and now with each of them being sent back to where they all belong, this here just leaves us with only one more who remains, Zamasu says. The strongest among them all, and the leader and the very source of this entire mess to begin with. And so now that we have him right where we need for him to be, we cannot afford to make any mistakes against him, or he will somehow find a way to use them all against us. And in any case, if we don't somehow find a way to destroy him right here, right now, then we may never be able to win if we can't end him at this exact moment, as it was only right then and there now during that moment, with the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of Goku Black's Resurrection manga chapter number 16 special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now I will go as far as to say that even though I find it to be rather interesting to see our heroes form an unexpected alliance with Universe 10's alternate Kaioshin in doing what they can to get the better of Goku Black, I'm afraid that while Goku Black still remains as being the last and most powerful enemy on the battlefield, if our heroes don't find a way to somehow combine their efforts and take him down now while they still have the chance, then I'm afraid all hope will be lost if they are unable to find the opening they need in order to put down Goku Black for good. And so you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video. As before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as
Sounds like you're being a little bitch, Vegeta. Kakarot, the little last time I fought him, he poked my head and I got knocked out. Motherfucker, I've been poked in the head by Michael Strong and Florida Man. You think you scare me, Beerus? You ain't shit. Like I said, I'm one transformation from becoming that. You know what? I ain't even about to do that. All right, saying, number one, I can kill you with 80% of my power. Let's be honest about that. Yeah, you've gotten stronger, but I can do that. Number two, I'm not fighting anyone until I get my damn pudding. Whis! Yes, my lord. Where's my shit? Well, I'll run to Bulma and grab it right away. You two play nice. It's not that I'm scared fighting him, but I also know how to pick my battles. I've grown wise in my age, Kakarot. Is Whis back with my pudding? Okay, no. So, saying if you touch me, I'm gonna kill both of y'all by nuking this fucking planet. Kakarot, he's not playing around. And you know I'll do it. Prove it. Well, let's run them hands, though. Let's run them. Cool.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Well, I can't really say that I didn't go and warn the Saiyans on what they would be getting into if they agreed upon having to battle against Universe 16's God of Destruction, but even now, while I am unable to sense Goku anywhere near or around Vegeta's presence, given how Broly also appears to be going through some sort of great deal of distress himself, Lord Pharix's destructive capabilities, along with his sharp and cunning battle intellect, makes him one of the most fearsome destroyers in any scenario. And as good as Vegeta is, and as powerful as he may be, if the Saiyans are to walk away from this battle in one piece and maintain their current stature as they are, then if they don't find a way to work together somehow and come up with a way to defeat Lord Pharix in battle, then I fear that what Lord Pharix will do is tear them down and rip them apart one by one until there is nothing left.
Our story now continues following the initial events of Universe 16's God of Destruction Pharix being shown having to throw down against none other than Ultra Ego Vegeta, as it was only moments after following their initial engagement with Vegeta being shown having to address Lord Pharix directly was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "It's interesting that you speak of experience as if it were the sole measure of a warrior's power, yet you fail to grasp the essence of where true strength comes from, Destroyer. As my journey through power has always been accelerated by my unbreakable will to always fight on," Vegeta continues. "And while you pride yourself on experience, I pride myself on the ability to learn, to grow, and to surpass any expectation that is placed in front of me, Destroyer. So you may in fact know more than me, or at least be able to use that as a way to try and get the better of me. However, one way or another, you will know what it's like to taste defeat by the hands of a Saiyan, and no matter how hard I have to try, I am going to show you on exactly why I am unlike any mortal you have ever seen before, God of Destruction. Because after seeing what I saw within that realm that you threw me into, I know that I can win," with Pharix responding, "Well, your optimism is as misplaced as it is amusing, Vegeta. For you speak of time as though you have enough of it to spare, but just because you were able to catch a glimpse into another reality where you may have appeared stronger than how you currently are right now, it doesn't change the outcome of what is about to happen, Vegeta. And while I trust that Lord Beerus had instructed for you to always keep your mind solely on destruction and nothing more," Pharix continues, "understand that my key to wielding this power effectively lies in my understanding of its true purpose, which is to first torment the spirit, ensuring that defeat is not just physical but psychological before breaking the body. And this lesson, Vegeta, is one that you cannot simply rush into understanding, because judging from what I can see, you are just not built to do that. But not only do I see that you are not as ruthless as you think you are, but from a combat perspective, I don't think that you're as tough as you assume to be," Pharix continues. "And if you think I'm not already well aware of the things that you can do on your own, mortal, then I would advise for you to keep your eyes and ears open at any and all times while you're here, because one little mistake that you make, one little error in your judgment against me, and it may cost you dearly. So now watch." To which, upon Pharix being shown having to point on down before having to unleash a destructive blast directly at Vegeta, was when Vegeta had gone as far as to look on down by then responding, "What's that bastard hinting at by pointing down at the sand below and saying that? Wait, could he be planning to attack me by using the landscape around me as a cover in order to get the better of me? It must be, because for some very strange reason, why do I sense Broly's energy coming from all the way down beneath me? Unless, of course, now I see," with Pharix then having to shout, "Good, now you're starting to get it, Vegeta, but a word of advice for you would be to always keep your eyes on me at all times. And I say that to say that you just won't know where I'd be coming from, so don't assume that you have me all figured out." But it was only just within that very moment, as Ultra Ego Vegeta had gone as far as to leap up out of the way before Pharix was shown dashing towards Vegeta and kneeing him in the ribs, was when Pharix then went on to continue continue. And even though you are now starting to slowly catch on to what had taken place here before your re-entry, I can assure you that while you stand here alone, you will never defeat me as you are, students of Beerus, and you never will. With Vegeta responding, "Oh, as if you would know anything about who or what I am to assume that I can't beat you alone is ridiculous, Destroyer. Oh, but I in fact know far more about you than you even care to realize," Pharix responds upon being shown swinging Vegeta around, as one example being on how much you pride yourself on being the so-called apex of an extinct warrior race, with another being on how badly you wish to stay ahead and never fall behind to one of your very own whom you refer to as Kakarot, which was why you even agreed to have Lord Beerus train you when he did in the first place. As you and I both know that this is because you are vulnerable without proper guidance and weak when attempting to stand on your very own. But all of that aside, if Beerus and Whis had truly found it within themselves to train the likes of mortal warriors such as you and Son Goku, then I want to go and see for myself on why that is and what makes you both worthy of being brought up by the gods and learning of such powers when it was solely designed for us. So I would be lying if I went and said that you mortals were not the first to go and surprise me in such a way after learning of your training by the hands of Whis and Beerus. But, Pharix continues, this is why I am allowing for you warriors to go and prove to me on why you deserve to belong within our ranks. You and Son Goku more than your other ally Broly, since he appears to be dealing with his own matters at the moment. So how will you respond, Pharix questions. Oh, how is it that your attacks just continue to get heavier and heavier when your energy doesn't appear to change, but rather remain in one place and not increasing or decreasing during the course of our battle? And so what is it that you're doing that's different, Ultra Ego Vegeta questions. There must be something. Oh, this is just infuriating. But no matter what you say and no matter what you think of me, Vegeta continues, I will never back down against you no matter how hard things end up getting. With Pharix continuing, how you ask? Well, it's quite simple, really, Vegeta, as I just concentrate all of my destructive power into one singular point before attacking, which ultimately channels a large portion of my strength into each and every single one of my attacks, Pharix continues. And so I don't expect for you to understand since you're still very new in using the power of a god of destruction, but needless to say, it doesn't even matter at this point because you aren't going to last long enough to. But then, it was only from out of nowhere within that very moment, just before God of Destruction Pharix even had the opportunity to go as far as to finish his sentence, was when surprisingly enough from out of nowhere beneath Pharix was when Broly's arms were then shown having to lunge on up by grabbing onto Pharix's ankles, with Pharix then having to respond. And what's this? Well, and here I imagined that I'd never have to go and see your face again, but oh how wrong I was, wasn't I? But perhaps I was wrong about you, Pharix went on to acknowledge Ikari Broly as Ikari Broly was slowly being shown emerging from the sands below. Maybe you are indeed worth giving my attention to, however your persistency is what might be a problem, Pharix continues. But I'll make sure to send you back and deal with you when the time calls for you to be dealt with, because at the moment I have other matters to attend. But then, it was yet again now from out of nowhere with a gigantic Hakai ball now being shown making its way towards Pharix, was when Ultra Ego Vegeta then went on to shout, well, why don't you go and attend to this, Destroyer? Now hurry, Broly, let go of him and get down right now! To which Broly went and did exactly that, because with Broly being shown ducking on down and letting go of Pharix, with Vegeta's Hakai ball being shown having to send Pharix flying outwards, was when Angel Rizal went on to then chime in. Well, that was certainly an unexpected, but dare I even say a brilliant way of ambushing Lord Pharix. But with that same Broly now resurfacing, I'm starting to wonder on how Lord Pharix will deal with more than just one opponent on the battlefield. Well, I'm glad to see that you're still in one piece, Vegeta went on to acknowledge Broly upon upon Broly being shown having to finally emerge down from the sands below. But I need you to listen and listen up very closely, Broly. Now, while our battle today isn't just a test of our strength, but it's also a testament of our resolve against such an opponent, while I didn't ask for your help, nor do I need your assistance in this battle against him, if you're going to fight alongside me against him, then I need you to balance out your emotions and remember who the real enemy is who we're fighting here. Do you understand? And as long as you remember the training you've undergone and the lessons that you've learned from both Kakarot and myself, Vegeta continues, then you should be just fine. But try not to lose your temper out there and go berserk against him, or you'll be jeopardizing us both. Do you understand? Now, I don't know what that idiot Kakarot is doing, but we can't wait for him to arrive back on the battlefield either, and so just follow my lead and make sure that you keep your eyes locked on him at all times, no matter what. Now wait for my signal, with Ikari Broly responding, what is he about to go and do? In which, back over on the other side, with God of Destruction Pharix now being shown having to create and use a gigantic sand hand of destruction in catching on to Vegeta's Hakai Ball, was when Pharix then went on to respond, that was quite the move that you two went and tried on me, but I regret to inform you both that your combined efforts of trying to stop me will backfire faster than you can even begin to realize, Saiyans. Now go and take this back to where it belongs, foolish mortals. Oh, darn it. Hurry, Broly, Vegeta shouts. Guard yourself while using everything you have and follow my plan right now. To which, seconds later, within that very moment, as a gigantic explosion was now shown taking place, with God of Destruction Pharix having to oversee this, was when Pharix then went on to chime back in, what a disgrace, as if that feeble rookie thinks that his destructive energy attacks would be enough to take down a god who's honed his craft in more ways than one. A valiant attempt, I will say, but a foolish one at best. And so now, how will they follow? Yes, now's our chance, and so push right through until we reach him, Ultra Ego Vegeta went on to shout upon being shown dashing out to smoke with Broly. Well now, planning on attacking me together, are you? Well, as much as I would love to fight you both, Pharix went on to then snap his fingers, I'm only interested in one of you for the time being, and the one that I am interested in is the warrior who was trained by Beerus. In which, from out of nowhere now, yet again, with Pharix now being shown creating another gigantic sand hand, as the sand hand went on to grab onto Ikari Broly mid-flight, was when Pharix then went on to continue, as for the time being, you will know your place within this battle, and you will remain where you are until the time arrives where I call for you, Saiyan. And so until that very moment comes to where I do, Broly went on to get pulled on down back under the ground yet again, you will stay out of our way and leave us to our business, Savage, for you will not be aided in this battle against me, Vegeta. Why, you backhanded, dirty, no-good coward, I can't wait until I knock those old mummified rags off your face. Mummified rags, huh? Well, in order for you to go and do that, Pharix went on to respond upon Vegeta being shown missing his strike, you'll have to go and catch me first in order to try. But speaking of rags, Vegeta, you should never go and judge something based on solely by what you are able to see, Pharix continues. And as I say that to say that these so-called rags are not in fact what you think they are, but rather something far, far greater, as these bandages went on to wrap around Vegeta's arm and glowing. For you see, you underestimate the power in which you find yourself entangled with, Vegeta. For my wraps of despair are mere conduits in what is used to break my enemies down, body part by body part, feeble mortal. And once they encase a part of your body, Pharix adds, they transform that body part to stone, severing its connection to you effectively and isolating it completely. So now, are you able to open your eyes and see upon Vegeta being shown pulling off the wraps and noticing his entire arm now covered in stone? And as I want you to go and see now with your very own eyes, and thus further proving my stance on the position that I've taken, in now showing you on the difference between my destructive experience in battle and yours, for I am in a far greater league than you even care to comprehend, Saiyan. But in case you thought this was over, oh no, because we are far from finished, Pharix continues, as the beatings then kept on continuing, because with Pharix then shown having to dash on in and kneeing Vegeta in the back of the head before having to grab grab him by the hair was when Pharix then went on to continue, because now that you are down to just using one of your arms, you can only do so much as we continue. So come then, student of Universe 7's God of Destruction, Beerus. Go and show me on why it is that you are so remarkable to be trained by a destroyer, Pharix went on to then continue upon being shown kneeing Vegeta in the face. Go and set the example for your God of Destruction by showing me on why you were an exception to his rules. And for your sake, you better try and make this fast, because without the aid of your fellow Saiyans to come and stand by your side in battle against me, you simply can't do it, and you know that you can't, as Broly went on to watch as he was being pulled under the ground. But while you continue to breathe, you still have a chance to prove your worth to me in exchange for your destroyer's debt with me to be paid. So the question that I ask you then is, will you go and hold up your end of the deal? Because if you don't find a way to use Beerus's training to somehow try and turn things around in your favor against me, then I will continue to pummel your head in as many times as I need to before you are destroyed. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the Universe 16 saga manga chapter number 4 special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now, I will go as far as to say that even though what Lord Pharix had said about uniting as one to fight him was true, despite what Broly and Vegeta can do all on their own simply isn't going to be enough to bring Lord Pharix down while engaging against him as they are. But if they rather were to find a way to use what I had told them a long time ago and fight as one, then there is no telling on how far Vegeta and Broly would go, because with Goku nowhere to be found, the chances of them surviving this without him are rapidly beginning to drop the longer this battle continues to be waged, and so you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to Unreal Gaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
For the last time, Parker, our pronouns are they and them. Not because we are non-binary, but because we are literally two niggas.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there. place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom.